So, as an introduction to meditation, and it's always great to come back to these little introduction insights because they are the foundation of our practice, and each day it's helpful to remind ourselves of these foundational aspects to a meditation practice. And I'm going to start with two quotes. The first one is, meditation is what happens when we sit with the intention of meditating. The reason I love this quote so much is because meditation as a word can be loaded with so much expectation. You have certain people who think it's weird. You have certain people who think it's the most amazing thing in the world. And then you also have people who think, okay, meditation, that's a practice where I should feel peaceful, or I should feel joyful or content, and I shouldn't feel angry or upset. But when we say meditation is what happens when we sit with the intention of meditating, actually just the fact you've even arrived and showed up to meditate, that's what meditation is. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's just, and the fact that you've just arrived here this morning, that is the art of meditation. And the reason I share that is because I know many people, a huge obstacle in their journey is they stop because they just think they're doing it wrong. And that's just the mind. The mind, our analytical minds, our conditioning, we are so in the world of doing things the right way and not doing them the wrong way. And for meditation, it's a practice where we move away from right and wrong. And this is disturbing to the mind because it likes to be able to analyze. It likes to be able to criticize and say, oh, I did that wrong. And it likes to also say, yeah, you did that good. You did that right. But meditation is an art of actually stepping beyond those limitations of right and wrong. And then you step into the world of infinite possibility. And this is why I always use the intention of having an explorative approach to all your practices. And you can even have this explorative approach then to life. Imagine that, just having an explorative approach to life. Just seeing what happens. And not attached to outcomes. And giving yourself permission to try something. And just explore it, and be less attached to the result or the outcome of that action. So, and then the second quote that I'd like to share is, and this was by a teacher, and it's not so much a quote, but she said, we don't call it meditation. We say we're going to sit and see what happens. And again, this relates a lot to what I said in the previous pieces. Again, meditation can be loaded with expectation as a word. But actually, if we can just sit and see what happens, it means that, okay, sometimes if I sit and meditate and I do experience some intense emotions or some sensations that are unpleasant or some symptoms in the body or some unpleasant thoughts, that doesn't mean that I'm meditating wrong and I should give up and that meditation isn't for me. That's part of your experience, and that's okay, right? It's not that I should feel peaceful, and if I don't feel peaceful, I'm doing it wrong and I should stop. And with that, it's not even about stopping your thoughts or stopping your sensations. It's about being the observer. So thoughts arise, sensations arise, and without reacting to them, you just come back to your object of your meditation, which for us today was the breath. And that's what meditation is, in terms of what is the technique in itself. It's focusing the mind on a specific object. And naturally the mind becomes distracted, and it's just being watchful of that. It's about smiling at the mind and coming back to your object, which is your breath. And this to me relates a lot into like our general lives, So much the mind likes to focus on what we don't want, and then it tries to avoid it. How much are we in the energy of avoidance where it's like, okay, focusing on like what we don't want to happen. It's fear and avoidance. And this is the tendency of the mind. Instead of focusing on, firstly, who we truly are in our essence, the qualities of who we are, and also focusing on what we would like to create, you know? So we move from this energy of avoidance to creation. Because I know, like, you know, you could go for a walk and thoughts may arise. You go for your walk and you have the intention of being present and observing the sounds, listening to the sounds and observing the beauty of nature. And the mind might be, you know, having the conversation, thoughts might arise, and then we might fight the mind and say, oh, I shouldn't be thinking that. I shouldn't. And then we're stuck, lost in thought. And instead just coming back, okay, what was my intention? It wasn't to fight my thoughts. It wasn't to stop them. It was just to come back to present moment awareness. My intention was to observe the beauty of nature and to listen to the sounds. So I don't need to judge where the mind went. Okay, it got distracted for some time. I'm just going to come back to my intention. And this is where we can bring meditation into everyday life. Yeah, and then I did have something else to say on meditation. Yeah, so the goal of meditation. And the goal of meditation is, from personal experience, I break it up into two. It's this simultaneous discovery or realization of who we truly are in our essence. So realizing your true nature, which is peace, a soul having a human experience, and this, you know, this limitlessness, your true infinite nature. So it's discovering this within yourself. And then simultaneously embracing your humanity. So embracing thoughts, emotions, sensations, or even symptoms or diseases that you may experience. So for me, that's the goal of meditation. So I hope that helps. That's just a little bit of theory for today. Thank you for joining. And if you have any reflections, I can take you all off mute now.